and you find yourself becoming frustrated with life, just say these things to yourself. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. This is the divine plan in my life. Everything is happening for me, and I will trust in the process. But at the same time, I have to create my own way. This way, I'm not waiting and I'm creating. This way, you work in conjunction with the divine plan instead of finding yourself waiting on it. And then you'll get frustrated because we don't know what timetable, you know, that concurs with, because it's always in divine volition by divine right time. So everything is always by divine volition in divine right time. When that is, I don't know. But what the best thing you could do for yourself is just stay busy. Just keep saying to yourself, this is the divine plan that God has for my life. The ego doesn't recognize it, but my soul does. Everything is happening for me. Nothing's happening to me. And this is the best plan that God has for my life. I just have to be patient and trust in the process. And that's it. And just, this way you don't build yourself up to this cacophony of madness, like this orchestrated craziness in your head, because the mind cannot sit still. That's why when you meditate, you're not meditating with the mind involved. The mind is like an outside entity just looking in, like I'll have none of this. The whole object of this journey on earth is to grab the mind and connect it to your higher self. Once you break the third dimensional barrier into the fourth dimension, then the mind becomes a soul. And then, your journey goes on to something else. Hopefully that you've done it correctly, in the sense that you came here to do what you were supposed to do for yourself, and whatever other types of purposes or missions or roles you are expected to perform here, your destiny, your fate, your karma, what all these names, I don't jive with any of them. I just feel that you're here for whatever reasons, and if you successfully accomplish those reasons through to fruition, to the completion, that you've implemented these lessons and applied them to your life, then you move on somewhere else, because you've already been in that classroom. You've already taken the courses. You've taken the lessons. You've learned the lessons. You've taken the tests. You've passed the tests. There's no need to go back to that again. Go on to something else. That's basically what it is. So if you find yourself really discouraged and frustrated, just say to yourself, this is the divine plan for my life. Nothing is happening to me. Everything is for my benefit. Just keep convincing yourself. I'm not going to acknowledge the false evidence that this holographic projector, this illusionary simulator, is attempting to deceive me with, meaning these disingenuous experiences that I did not generate. Because I'll tell you right now, there are some experiences that you're responsible for, and a lot of them you're not, because I've said it before. It's very important that you listen. You're not responsible for anything outside yourself as far as the world. People are. People are responsible for themselves, also animals, and all the energies of the earth. And the earth herself is responsible for herself. And source is the life force that we're all animated by. We are all plugged into source. So you're not responsible for somebody else's actions or their behaviors or their thoughts or their energies, their frequencies, whatever toxicity or dysfunction they have going on in their life in the moment, emotional baggage, drama. That stuff gets incorporated into the world around you, folks. That you cannot take responsibility for it, because I've said it in a previous video that you're not wholeheartedly responsible for the entirety of that stuff going on outside you. How could you be? Because if you were to die right now, God forbid, this world would go on without you. So how are you responsible for it? This world doesn't need you. The universe doesn't need you. You need you. There are people here that that need you, and perhaps people that you don't. Perhaps you are the answer to their prayers and the blessings that they have been looking for. You never know. But nonetheless, don't get frustrated and upset and discouraged. That's what this simulator wants you to do. It wants you to just believe what you're seeing is true and buy into the illusion of these projections as the only reality there is. In this sense, the mind is in control, which it's really not, because the ego is controlled by the darkness. So, the mind is like, how could this not be real? We can see it, we could touch it, we could taste it, we could smell it, we can hear it. Of course it's real. It's the only reality there is. And the soul is like, are you freaking kidding me? It's just an illusion. The mind is like, no, it's not. It's reality, because we can see it with our five senses. And the soul is like, your five senses are limited. You can't see beyond the limitations and the confinements of this physical illusion, this holographic projection. And the mind is like, we don't understand what you're talking about. And the soul's like, of course you don't, because you're a child. That's why the matrix controls you, and the matrix doesn't control me. So says the soul to the mind. The soul is tasked with quieting the screams of the mind in order for the soul to listen for the whispers from heaven. Let me say that again. The soul is tasked with quieting the screams of the mind in order to allow the soul to listen for the whispers from heaven. And those whispers are divine transmissions, intuitive guidance sent telepathically. The mind is like all day long. It's like a 3-year-old on 5 pounds of sugar. You got to peel off the ceiling. That's the mind. I need chaos. I need negativity. I need drama. I need gossip. I need nonsense. He said, she said, noise. I need all this nonsense. I need these adversarial rivalries. I need to watch political debates more and more and more. Feed me, feed me, feed me. That's what the mind is saying. And the soul's like, yo, that's the reason why we came here, to turn you into a soul. And the soul is going to take control and say, I'm not going to allow this crazy little child to run the show here, because that little child isn't running the show. It's being run by something external that's taking control of all of us, and I'm not going to have it anymore. So that's why you got to stop getting upset with yourself. You got to say, listen, God's got my back, whether I can see this or not. I know something greater than myself is helping me help myself, and hopefully through you help others. So in that sense, you gain a greater insight and vision into actually what's going on, which allows you to really just bring solace and comfort to yourself and just calm yourself down instead of becoming upset and discouraged at this thing, because it's not happening when you want. You're trying to control it again. It's all about letting go. Trust me. And I find myself in this spot too. Don't think that I'm some sort of like perfect Buddha, God, some guru. I'm just sharing my wisdom, man. That's what I'm doing. But I find myself sometimes saying, listen, the divine plan is taking way too long. I got to do something else. And whenever the universe is ready, I'm here to receive. I'm open to receive, but I don't have time to wait. So I'm going to release and let go, and I got to do other things. So in that process, I guarantee you what happens is the moment you honestly stop thinking about it, you honestly let go of it, that's when these things happen. And they happen in common hours that you're caught off guard. It's totally unexpected these things happen, because now you've honestly released. And you're not trying. It's really weird. It's a backward world. It is. It's an upside down. That's why you can't figure it out, because it's nuts. You got satanic pedophiles running things, for God's sakes. You don't have to be positive to make money, folks. I'm telling you straight. All you need to know how to do it. And the system is written by crooks, so of course they're going to benefit themselves. You don't need to be happy and positive and high vibrational to make money. You need to be happy, positive, and high vibrational to make good money. But money can be made anyway, But I wouldn't urge anybody to make it any other way other than in a righteous manner. But nonetheless, for God's sake, you can see it on TV. All these criminals and murderers and thieves and pedophiles are getting freaking rewarded. Nobody's getting locked up. But in the grander scheme of things, they're only fooling themselves. These are brazen individuals that operate with complete impunity above the laws of man, but not above the laws of God. So when they're given that final breath, unbeknownst to these fools, they have been judging themselves their entire life, and they will pay the consequence. If God had forgiveness for every sin, hell would not exist. It's just the truth. It's the absolute truth. God told me once, God has never sent a single soul to hell. They always send themselves. Wrap your head around that for a minute. But anyway, I digress. Just to end this video, don't get discouraged. It happens to all of us. It's like, why isn't it happening? You just freaking get nuts. You just got to center yourself and focus and remain grounded in your soul. Absolute alignment with the divine inside you. To say, listen, everything that is meant to be with me and for me will be in divine right time, whenever that is. Until that time, I got to stay busy by creating everything and doing the best I can to stay busy and, keep myself occupied with things. Don't overwork yourself, but don't just sit and chill and think that the universe is going to usher these things to you like a delivery at your doorstep without having to do anything at all. It's not going to happen. But anyway, just enjoy the day, Like they say, the joy is in the journey and the beauty is in the destination. It's true. Destination to your dreams, man. But anyway, peace, just be calm, man. Relax. God's got your back.